Remember to also follow us on all our social media platforms. We begin with the news of the moment. Palm Sunday. Christians wave palm fronds with shouts of Hosanna in observance of Palm Sunday, ushering in the Passion Week, which leads to Easter celebrations. Deborah Gazaji-Maika brings us the sights and sounds of Palm Sunday procession at churches around Abuja metropolis.
Service conducted at the Cathedral Church of the Advent, Most Reverend Herin Chukundum Undukuba says it is a reminder of the Passion of Christ, noting that Jesus Christ had already paid the price, hence the need for Christians to open the door of their hearts for him to come.
We are passing through a painful period, but as the scripture says, weeping may endure for the night, in the night, but joy, rejoicing, victory is coming in the breaking of the dawn.
To have Nigeria, then something has to be done miraculously.
God is supreme, and all you need to do is take God in his stead and follow his examples, which has to do with humility, which has to do with victory, which has to do with salvation.
Just as there cannot be glory without the cross, Reverend Father John Jimo urged Christians to shun the culture of materialism without hard work.
Getting material wealth without hard work, because it leads to a lot of crime. And that is what it tells us in our lives. We should shun that attitude.
No, God will save us. God will deliver this country. We have prayed before now for the country and for Nigeria and for our president.
The church prays to God that the nation Nigeria surmounts the present security challenges. Deborah Kazaj-Maika, NTA News.
Thank you, Deborah. Now with me in the studio to talk more about Palm Sunday and its significance to Christians is Reverend Father Peter Babangida Audu, the Deputy Executive Secretary, Caritas Nigeria, Catholic Secretariat of Nigeria. You're welcome to our studios.
Thank you very much.
Tell us about Palm Sunday. What exactly is it about?
Well, the origin of Palm Sunday can be taken from the Old Testament in the Bible during the time of the Maccabees. When Judas and his brother Simon battled against the Greeks and the non-believers at that point, and they purified the temple. So, and to do this, they waved palms and celebrated. And this can be found in the first book of the Maccabees. And most importantly, also, it is royalty. It signifies royalty.
Now, what are the lessons inherent, apart from royalty? What are the inherent lessons in Palm Sundays? And how can Christians apply the lessons to their daily lives as dutiful Nigerian citizens?
Well, thank you very much. With the celebration of Palm Sunday comes, for me, I would say it's very significant because it is the totality of what the Christian faith stands for. And that will mean the whole week, beginning from Palm Sunday throughout this week, we call the Holy Week. And it culminates with the events of the Paschal Mystery of Christ, which will begin on Holy Thursday up to right through Easter Sunday. So it is the foundation of the Christian faith. Everything about the Christian faith revolves around Palm Sunday and the Passion Sunday and all through the week. And especially today, we call it Palm Sunday, but some persons call it Passion Sunday. So for me as a Catholic, and I'm sure with other Christians we share, it is two celebrations in one. Palm Sunday because we are celebrating the kingship of Jesus, and then Passion, we are also commemorating the events that leads to our salvation. So, and that for us, it means therefore life is not always as you want it. There are difficult moments, there are challenges in life, but there are also moments of glory. There are also moments of praises. So that is tell us that life is on both sides. There are on one side, people will praise you, and on the other side, there will be the challenges you face as a Christian.
And so you're expected to meet those challenges head on with gentleness and humility. But speaking of that, Passion Week is also coinciding with Ramadan, which is also holy to Muslims. So what parallels can be drawn from these two faiths, especially in applying the lessons to overcome the security challenges which the country is experiencing?
For me, it tells us that we are all from one God. It tells us that we are all one people. And the mode of worship may differ, But it's not coincidental. It's God's making that at this moment, while Christians are fasting, the Muslims are also fasting. And at the end of the day, we all celebrate with joy. So it tells us the need for us to work together as brothers and sisters to be able to build our nation. And the Holy Father, Pope Francis, has given us a document as Christians, which is called Fratelli Tutti, that we are all brothers and we should see each other as brothers. If we have to fight and they face the challenges facing our world and especially Nigeria, then we must come together. The need for us to see ourselves as neighbors and as brothers and sisters.
Thank you very much, Reverend Father, for these wonderful insights. And we hope to invite you again for more on this beautiful topic, especially as Easter is just around the corner.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you. I've been talking with Reverend Father Peter Babangida Audu, the Deputy Executive Secretary, Caritas, Nigeria. Now, for more on Palm Sunday, let's join Michael in Lagos.
Thank you, Najatu. Christians can make the world a better place when they imitate the life of Jesus Christ, a reflection of deep concern for humanity. These were the words of clergymen at various churches visited on Palm Sunday. Amaka Owo reports.
Palm Sunday is commemorated by many churches across the world. It is also called the Passion Sunday. It begins with the blessing of the palm by the clergy, which makes the palm a holy sacramental.
Blessed is the King who comes in the name of the Lord, peace in heaven and glory in the highest.
The humility of our Lord Jesus Christ, him who we say is equal to God, but came in flesh, and yet he didn't ride into Jerusalem with a horse like the warlord we do. He chose a donkey.
Palm Sunday marks the beginning of the Holy Week that leads to the Passion of Christ.
Whatever your position, one day you will leave it. Even if you don't leave that position, then the position will leave you.
Significance of Palm Sunday is to commemorate the triumphant entry of our Lord Jesus Christ into Jerusalem.
On this day, the palm remains the most common item, a symbol of peace and triumph. In Lagos, Amaka O, NTA News.
Despite the removal of Nigeria from the list of maritime insecurity worldwide, the country is still desirous of strengthening existing legal instruments and platforms towards sustaining the progress attained so far. Director General Nigerian Maritime Administration and Safety Agency NIMASA Bashir Jamu stated this while receiving delegates from the European Union.
When the quest for a robust and sophisticated integrated maritime security platform started in 2017, the European Union offered technical assistance to Nigeria, covering cooperation, collaboration, communication, and coordination. Between then and now, what has actually changed is there is a sharp decline in instances of crime, and by the fourth quarter of 2022, there was no case recorded, resulting in the removal of the country from the list of highly prone piracy region. This visit by the EU Senior Coordinator for the Gulf of Guinea is to appreciate Nigeria's well-coordinated approach to promote global safe navigation and trade.
Safety and security in our own waterways.
The Director General of NIMASA attributed the success recorded so far to government's commitments through the implementation of Piracy and Other Maritime Offences Act 2019 and the deployment of the Deep Blue project. He assured the EU that mechanism for their sustenance is carefully mapped out.
Even though we are yet to deploy the entire assets, but the federal government in the last 1.5 months granted approval for the payment of the sustainability plan GSEAP, as well as the outstanding clearing fees that make us not clear the remaining items.
The EU Senior Coordinator for the Gulf of Guinea acknowledged the progress, pledging commitments to continue working with Nigeria to cement the gains.
We need to thank your effort because those efforts have also worked for us. It is not a question of solidarity, it is a question of mutual interest and working together.
To cement its achievements in the maritime sector, Nigeria is planning to host an international conference with hope of awakening global consciousness on the right approach to fighting maritime crimes. Remember that you can follow this news broadcast live on our website at nta.ng/live and on YouTube at NTA News Online. You can also visit our Facebook page at NTA Network News, Twitter handle at NTA News Now, and on Instagram at NTA Network for updates. Time for some messages, and when we return, the news continues with Amina Saidu from our Kaduna Network Center. Please stay.
The Nigerian aviation sector is rapidly growing with the construction of new international airport terminals in several regions of the country. The new Murtala Mohammed International Airport has an estimated passenger increase of 30 million annually and 15 million for Nnamdi Azikiwe International Airport, Abuja. Malam Aminu Kano International Airport is also expected to open new frontiers for the region with more travel capacity for the annual Hajj, while the new Akanu Ibiam International Airport, Enugu, avails more business opportunities connecting the industrial cities in the region to the world. These new terminals beat world-class standards with enabling infrastructure that aid air travel, tourism, and the eventual growth of the country's GDP.
Open up commerce and, of course, link us to international societies.
People from international community will come here to do business, and then that will bring in more revenue to the states.
Now, distances can be seamlessly covered as Nigeria keeps raising its bar to suit global infrastructure standards.
Buy Nigeria Registration and Telemarks in partnership with NTA Television Enterprises Limited. The Buy Nigeria project presents International Market Access Platform. BuyNigeria.com, a one-stop e-commerce portal and public procurement referral for exclusively made in Nigeria products and services. The Telemarks for buying and selling on television for company and product registration, participation, sponsorship, and adverts on Telemark. Call Acho on 080-9521-2547 or Sarah on 080-331-73233. Visit www.buynigeria.com or www.ntatve.com.ng. For products inspection, standards and quality assurance, Buy Nigeria Center, The Arena, NTA Headquarters, Abuja, FCT. Buy Nigeria, Market Square, Mount View Mall, Life Camp, Abuja. Buy Nigeria, providing market access for entrepreneurs in the 36 states and the FCT, from local to global.
As the world advances, Samuel Adegboyega University, Ogwa, Edo State, is poised to deliver world-class education rooted in strong academic traditions. In the colleges of law, basic and applied sciences, humanities, management, and social sciences, Samuel Adegboyega University is building the next generation of leaders. Hurry now for 2021-2022 undergraduate and postgraduate admissions into any of our NUC fully accredited programs. Secure admission today in one of the fastest growing private universities in Africa. Also note that the university runs diploma, JUPEB, part-time and tuition-free programs. For more information, visit www.sau.edu.ng or call 0705 079 1226. Samuel Adegboyega University, to nurture for discipline and excellence.
A new edition of TV Guide is out, exclusively with Professor Umar Garba Dambata, Executive Chairman of the Nigerian Communications Commission, NCC.
We have unveiled the 622 as a toll-free line through which consumers can be able to lodge their complaints. And we have introduced the 112 as a national emergency number.
This edition is a compendium of mind-blowing stories for your reading pleasure, ranging from technology, entertainment, economy, media, politics, family, and lots more. Pick up your copy and get abreast with issues and trending features within our space. TV Guide, very incisive, very educative and compelling. Grab a copy at the vendor near you or any NTA station nationwide. TV Guide, your indispensable companion.
Come to Kaduna.
One division Nigerian army is re-strategizing to defeat enemies of peace in its area of responsibility through training and additional deployment of theater of operations in areas worst affected by terrorist attacks. Suleiman Rugachkun reports.
Increasing nature of threats and advancement in technology, the states, the military, and other security services continually engage in training and capacity development to enable them surmount emerging security challenges. Recent happenings in its area of responsibility, the state's one division Nigerian Army explore ways of building on existing methods to tackle activities of terrorist attacks, especially along Kaduna-Abuja Road, Birnungwari, and southern axis of Kaduna State, Falgore, as well as other flashpoints in Niger State.
Warfare is becoming increasingly complex. Our experiences in other areas of operations help to draw useful lessons, thereby identifying gaps in the conduct of our operations.
Participants from the rank of warrant officers and colonels will also be exposed to operations planning, military decision-making process, intelligence preparation of the battlefield, and logistics in operational planning, among others. Suleiman Rugachkun, NTA News.
Christians under the umbrella of Orthodox Church have ended this year's annual convention in Kaduna with renewed vigor of evangelism and prayers for the nation. The congregation was attended by denominations in the country. Achari Maxwell reports.
It is a garden of Christians coming together for spiritual rejuvenation and promoting ideals of Christ. This year's National Convention of the Church is an avenue for prayers on continued peace and prosperity in the land.
Believers are supposed to be prepared for eternity with God, where all our sufferings and hardship of this world will end, and we will enjoy living with our Master in eternity, which is where our citizenship is drawn.
We are preaching prosperity. We are preaching about how well it will be with us on this planet Earth, but we have abandoned the cause of preparing people for heaven. And so those kind of messages that have been coming on telly, on the streets, is actually not healthy. People are just continually living in sinful life. And so we want people to get it right.
The 5 days National Convention provides an avenue for mutual interaction among the participants. In Kaduna, Achari Maxwell, NTA News.
And that's it from here. You can follow this news broadcast live on our website, nta.ng/live, and on YouTube channel, NTA News Online. You can also visit our Facebook page, NTA Network News, Twitter at NTA News Now, and Instagram, NTA Network, for updates. It's back to Najatu in Abuja.
Thank you, Amina. And now we head to Kebbi State, where Governor Abubakar Atiku Bagudu has requested Muslims to use Ramadan to intensify prayers for God's intervention over Nigeria's lingering security and economic challenges. Governor Bagudu stated this at the Haliru Abdu Stadium, Birnin Kebbi, during the distribution of various food items to vulnerable persons, an initiative of the Attorney General and Minister of Justice Abubakar Malami SAN. Usman Abdullahi Shehu reports.
Haliru Abdu Stadium was full to capacity not by football spectators, but by dozens of youth groups, associations, and others alike who came to enjoy the annual support and initiation of Abubakar Malami, where 1,000 assorted grains were given to each of the 21 local government areas of the state. Governor Abubakar Atiku Bagudu commended Malami for doing what every Muslim is enjoined by Prophet Muhammad to do in this holy month of Ramadan, and charged others with the means to do the same, adding that the state government has also procured 35,000 bags of assorted grains for distribution to the people of the state.
He has shown how to use your position to enhance the lives of people. He has not stocked what he got in his pocket. He has decided to give people. So it's something that is very courageous for him to do it, and something that should be exemplified. by all of us.
While addressing the crowd, Malami, who was full of praises on President Muhammadu Buhari and Governor Atiku Bagudu for initiating so many self-reliant strategies for youths, was quick to say that the gesture was merely to reach out to the needy as encouraged by Islam at a time like this.
Taking after the examples that have been set by President Muhammadu Buhari, and in view of the fact that he has directed that we should support the less privileged, that motivated my consideration.
Some who spoke on the occasion and other beneficiaries commended the remarkable gesture by the donor and acknowledged that the present administration has maintained material and financial support to the people of Kebbi State since inception. Usman Abdullahi Shehu, NTA News.
Meanwhile, in Ebonyi State, members of the Ebonyi diaspora community have asked Ifeanyi Chukwuma Odi to declare intention to run for a key leadership position in Ebonyi State. The community members made their voices heard at an interactive session of the Ebonyi diaspora community for Anyi Chuks. Joseph Otsen reports.
Even in diaspora, they stand united to say that though they consider best hands take leadership responsibilities for the development of Ebonyi State. This time they are interacting with one of their own, a business mogul, Ifeanyi Chukwuma Odi, who they say has shown much love to his people and has also demonstrated capacity through successes in the business world.
He has always been part of us. We are here to listen and achievement because there are so many. I want to say that the Lord was aware of what has been built. That you can do this, if you can do this, that only for the person you work for. If you have no succeed in activity, I want to say that there is the best in the world.
It is an interface Udi is used to, but a show of love and clamor for him to declare intention to head governance in the state is one that has presented him with no option.
Very soon you will hear about my mission and my stay in Abuja in the last few days. Very soon. So I have to get back home in Ebonyi. But I've done the needful in Abuja for me to go back home and then present it to Ebonyi people in the states.
For these members of Ebonyi diaspora community, it is time for persons who have the state and people at heart, as well as capacity to enhance the vast potentials of the state, to step up and spearhead. In Abuja, Joseph Otsen, NTA News.
Similarly, Governor Udom Emmanuel has accepted the call to join the presidential race and has received the presidential expression of interest and nomination form of the People's Democratic Party purchased by the Brekete family. Susan Asuko reports.
March 30, 2022, a human rights media outfit, Brekete Family, purchased the forms for Governor Udom Emmanuel to run for the office of the president in 2023. This gesture, they say, is born out of the superlative and sterling leadership style of the governor. Expressing appreciation and gratitude to the group, Governor Emmanuel said he is overwhelmed by the level of confidence reposed on him.
Whatsoever we can achieve as a country can never be one man's show. So I believe everybody will join hands to make sure that we get it right in 2023, while also calling for fairness, justice, and equity in the process as we go along.
Leader of the Brekete delegation, Mr. Innocent Orji, hinted that the decision to buy the form came after a critical tour of the state to confirm fact on the governor's performance.
A decision was taken by the family that when the time comes, they will save money, contribute money, and buy form for you to contest the presidency of Nigeria.
High point of the event was presentation of the funds to Governor Udom Emmanuel by the group. In Uyo, Susan Asukwo, NTA News.
And joining the race, the Minister of Labour and Employment, Dr. Chris Ngige, has commenced consultations on his vision for Nigeria's presidency ahead of the 2023 general elections by meeting with the Igbo Delegate Assembly in Abuja. Ekene Ntulue reports.
With the 2023 general election in sight, politicians and interest groups have commenced consultations and horse tradings that usually characterize elections in Nigeria. In this hall are Igbo leaders in the 19 northern states and FCT gathered to reflect on issues concerning the southeast. Dr. Chris Ngige is consulting with the group on the key issue of zoning and the quality of leadership Nigeria deserves come 2023.
The bandits, the robbers, the kidnappers, they are the people rebelling against society. I know what to do if I become president of Nigeria. That's why I'm consulting with people who know me, friends and associates.
For these community leaders, major political parties in Nigeria should zone their presidential tickets to the southeast to ensure fairness and inclusiveness.
You will agree with me that we'll have men that are sagacious, politically conscious, intelligent, credible.
As they rounded off their deliberations, there was no doubt in the minds of these leaders that the southeast is endowed with candidates that can be entrusted with leadership of the country. Ekene Ndulue, NTA News.
Still on the 2023 general election, all the presidential aspirants from the southeast on the platform of the People's Democratic Party have resolved to work together as a team to ensure that a southeasterner emerges the party's standard bearer for the 2023 presidential election. Timothy Yusuf reports.
The four presidential aspirants on the platform of the PDP so far from the southeast are former President of the Senate, Ayim Pius Ayim, former Governor of Anambra State, Peter Obi, Mazi Samu Habunwa, and Dr. Nwachukwu Anakwenze.
We have agreed to work together as a team. We intend to consult with other zones on this issue, and it is based on fairness and equity. In doing so, it is important to note that we have always supported other zones, and we now expect them to reciprocate.
The aspirants further emphasized that their position is in the interest of national unity, the PDP, and above all, in line with the PDP constitution. Meanwhile, some other aspirants vying for various elective positions on the platform of the PDP have visited the National Secretariat of the party, expressing their readiness to work towards the victory of PDP at all levels.
We have dramatically stabbed people where virtually nobody expected.
Dr. Yoshia Ayu, our national party chairman, he will direct for a free and fair primary.
National chairman of the PDP, Yoshia Ayu, restates the party's determination to conduct a free, fair, and acceptable primary election. Timothy Yusuf, NT News.
Now, Nationwide will continue in Ibadan with Kemi.
Thank you, Najatu, and welcome to Ibadan. The federal government has held a training as part of efforts to mitigate the impacts of COVID-19 on the livelihood of the poor and owners of micro and small enterprises. The training focused on monitoring evaluation of heads of state NGKs across the states and the FCT. Correspondent Rafia Animasha Badmos has details.
COVID-19 pandemic is a global health emergency with far-reaching consequences on the economy. In Nigeria, the pandemic affected many micro and small enterprises, thereby increasing poverty level. With over 400 participants across the country, Nigeria and COVID-19 Action, Recovery and Economic Stimulus, NGKs, is targeted at existing and emerging vulnerable and poor households affected by the economic crisis.
Action plan is a detailed document prepared by each of the states, and it contains guidelines on where to visit, when to visit, and how to safeguard and preserve the lives of our staff, our equipment, from all acts of insurgency, insecurity across the country. That man who could not pay school fees, that man who could not pay rent, that man who cannot feed, make provision for them, and these things will go.
Chairman, Federal Cares Technical Committee said the training was to ensure full implementation of Angel Cares programs through the Community and Social Development Agency, State Cash Transfer Unit, among others. In Ibadan, Rofia Animation Badmos, NTA News.
Muslims have been urged to adopt new approaches to address the social, economic and political challenges they are encountering. Islamic scholars gave the charge at the NTA Ibadan Network Center Abdulaziz Arishikola Lao annual Ramadan lecture held within the premises.
Ramadan lecture in honor of late Abdulaziz Arishikola Lao played host to Islamic scholars across various groups, members of the public, management and staff of NTA Ibadan Network Center. Imam Buhari, while addressing the gathering on upholding good morals within the family, the lecturer said parents and guardians must play positive roles in rearing children.
People of the olden days already irrespective of who bears what, whenever they see anybody doing what is not right, they put him right.
Islam has always been everything encompassed into the new way of life, teaching people how to become better.
This was corroborated by other Islamic scholars who spoke at the program.
Let everybody search his conscience, what the English will call introspection. Whether what you are doing is in consonance with Allah's instruction.
Prayers were offered for late Are Arishikola Lao, seeking for reports of his soul. In Ibadan, Rofia Animation Badmos, NTA News.
And that's it from Ibadan. Nationwide continues with Muhammad in Maiduguri. After the break, don't go away.
All the thrills and all the action on Nigeria's biggest dance reality show. Glow Battle of the Year is on NTA every Sunday from 8 p.m. to 9 p.m.
Do you run a breast or cervical cancer service? Are you a private or public laboratory, clinic or hospital that offer any of breast imaging, cervical cancer screening, HPV vaccination, or other breast or cervical cancer services? Is your service a primary, secondary, or tertiary center located in any part of Nigeria, no matter how remotely located it is? If yes to any of these questions, then subscribe to the OCI Foundation's Save Breast app and become accessible and visible to millions of Nigerians. It is all for free. To subscribe, just type the Save Breast application form on Google or go to the OCI Foundation's page on www.ocifoundation.org and search for Save Breast application form. Complete the form and submit. And let millions of Nigerians patronize you, all for free. Become part of the OCI Foundation's quest to tackle breast and cervical cancers in Nigeria. And join us to rise by lifting others.
To Maiduguri or nationwide, about 30,000 members of host community and internally displaced persons in Goza local government have benefited from distribution of food and non-food items, as well as cash support of 100 million naira from the Borno state government. Governor Babagana Umar Zulum personally supervised the distribution exercise in Goza town, headquarters of the local council. Mohammed Goni reports.
As early as 6 o'clock in the morning, Governor Zulum was on his toes, moving from one distribution center to the other, supervising the profiling of beneficiaries and distribution process. Each of the 20,000 women received 5,000 naira cash support and a fabric, while about 10,000 male heads of households were profiled to receive 25 kg bag of rice and maize the following day. The female beneficiaries were full of praises for the gesture accorded them, which they say has come handy in the holy month of Ramadan. Governor Zulum noted commencement of farming activities in the area and hope it will increase next season.
Up to now, they are still facing some humanitarian challenges. That has informed the decision of the state government to provide them with some non-food items, of which we did today.
As part of the official engagement in the community, Governor Zulum paid courtesy visit on the Emir of Goza, Muhammad Shehu Idrisa Timta, where he intimated the royal father on his visit and informed that World Bank-funded erosion control program has commenced in Goza, for which 1.4 billion naira has been approved. He added that Hirawa community will be resettled before the Ramadan fast ends, while Ashigashia, Bita and Yamtake will be resettled in the next 3 months. Emir of Goza, Muhammad Shehu Idrisa Timta, appreciated Governor Zulum's continued support to the people of Goza Emirate and thanked him for the visit. In Maiduguri, Mahmoud Goni, NTA News.
The hike in price of petroleum products has continued to take its toll on residents of Maiduguri, the Borno state capital, as price of ice block has gone up during the Ramadan fasting when it is in high demand. This situation is further worsened by the high atmospheric temperatures and lack of electricity supply. Jadwa Jaseni has a situation report.
The hike in price of petroleum products across the country over the past few weeks has continued to induce fear in the heart and minds of Nigerians, as it does not only affect mobility but small businesses like production of ice blocks, among others. The product is in top demand, supply low, and price high, especially in Maiduguri, Borno state capital, as Muslim faithful rehydrate after breaking the Ramadan fast. This has led to the proliferation of roadside selling points where youths engage in brisk business, making little money for themselves. However, it is not business as usual at the ice block production market and shops in the metropolis, as a block of ice now goes for 70 to 100 naira as against 50 naira the previous year. They are calling on governments and relevant authorities to intervene by surmounting the myriad of challenges.
We appeal to our leaders, if there's any way they are going to assist the poor.
Ice block marketers attributed the hike to increase in price of diesel, as they operate on generators which runs for more than 10 hours to produce reasonable quantity of ice blocks for consumers in the absence of public source of power. For now, with the increasing hot weather and fasting in progress, consumers of ice blocks are left with no choice but to buy at any price to keep body and soul together. In Maiduguri, Jadwa Jasini, NTA News.
Those are the stories from this end. It is back to Najatu in Abuja.
Thank you and welcome back to our Abuja studios. The Nigerian Export Promotion Council is taking proactive steps to ensure adequate utilization of COVID-19 relief grants to manufacturers and exporters, with the Executive Director and CEO of the Council, Dr. Ezra Yakusak, and a team of revenue agencies visiting Kano State to assess the impact of the relief grants. Comfort Amadou reports.
Kano State has been a major entry port, commercial and investment hub of northern Nigeria, with a GDP of about $12 billion, as the economy is largely driven by commerce, manufacturing systems and subsistence agriculture. Despite the viability of the economy, Kano was also affected with economic challenges stemming from the impact of COVID-19 pandemic on the global economy. To cushion the impact, the Nigerian Export Promotion Council, through its Export Expansion Facility Program, disbursed various COVID-19 relief grants to companies, manufacturers and MSMEs across the country. Now it's time to find out if these grants were effective and properly utilized. To this end, the NEPC visited Kano State on impact assessment of the relief grants to people doing business.
We gave this company about 50 billion naira. Now, before that grant was granted, we came inspecting this facility to see what they have, and we checked their records. Now, after this grant, it is only fair that we make an impact assessment, and of course, the jobs that were lost have been restored. Right now, this company has about 206 staff on their payroll right now. That also shows that the grant given to us by the federal government under the Economic Sustainability Plan is actually working.
Some of the manufacturers and other beneficiaries of the grants lauded NEPC's efforts towards boosting the nation's economy.
Whatever we do, we export it and we bring back the foreign exchange. So it has really impacted into the Nigerian economy, more especially now that, that the government needs or the nation needs foreign exchange.
You know the problem we are facing, from roads to electricity to a lot of problems. For us to compete, the whole point of EEG is to cushion down the cost. But Export Promotion Council is pushing hard to bring back the EEG the way it was before.
The team also used the opportunity to inspect industries that are significant to the nation's non-oil revenue drive. In Kano, Comfort Amadu, NT News.
The federal government is tackling the threat to food security with the National Agroclimatic Resilience Project in semi-arid landscapes. Onenge Fineface reports.
Semi-arid landscapes have very little rainfall, and in the face of worsening climatic conditions, agricultural production in the region is under threat. Building the resilience of farmers is essential to optimizing the enormous potentials for food security in semi-arid landscapes. Watershed management and sustainable irrigation technology are crucial elements deployed for agricultural production in the affected areas in Nigeria.
And there's no better way of managing land than managing the watershed. And indeed, you cannot separate the environment, water, and agriculture.
We will do all the best we can to support and ensure that the political will to drive this project in accordance with the mandate and objectives of the project are achieved.
Federal Ministries of Environment, Agriculture, and Water Resources are driving this resilience with support from the World Bank and governors from northern states.
To addressing agroclimatic resilience, which is essentially trying to build capacity of the community and the capacity of the ecosystem to cope up with the changing climate.
So we are able to do rice twice, and we were told that there is another different special seed that we can even do 3 times, and we are trying that.
But we must, at state level and at local government level, find a way to ensure that we sustain it. We embed it into our developmental programs.
While climate change continues to rage, Nigeria, with this project, has the assurance of resilient food production and security. Onengiye Fineface, NC News.
The African Union Commission for Education, Science, Technology and Innovation is soliciting TED Fund's intervention for its main campus at the Pan-African University of Science located in Ibadan. The Commission's delegation was at TED Fund in line with ongoing efforts aimed at making the 50 member nations benefit from each other through the platform. The team also indicated that the university has 1,500 masters and 400 PhD holders.
This Pan-African University is very important in terms of bringing young Africans together. It means that they happen to know better each other, to know better the other cultures, the other countries, the other languages, the other beliefs of the African countries, and it really creates this idea of Pan-Africanism.
As soon as we get that request, the most important thing is starting. We should be able to build on that and also push the right partnerships that will encourage or enable us push the agenda of the African Union and indeed of the institution out there.
Nigeria is one of the strongest advocates of the 10-year-old Pan-African University of Science, which has 4 institutes in 4 different African countries. The Vice President, Professor Yemi Osinbajo, says the development of critical infrastructure is the key to economic growth and the key to improving the living standard of Nigerians. This was while inaugurating more projects executed by Governor David Umahi of Ebonyi State. Chika Okori reports.
Stating the King David University of Medical Sciences, Ubru, the Vice President, Professor Yemi Osinbajo, who also commissioned some road, as well as the St. Joseph Umahi flyover, expressed optimism that the projects will have ripple effects on the nation's economy.
I want to just commend His Excellency the Governor again for the great work that he's doing. It's evident that Ebonyi State will never be the same. So it is my very special pleasure and privilege to officially commission this road for the benefit of all Ebonians and all Nigerians who will use this road, and even people from all over the world.
The people who were excited about the numerous projects executed by the state governor, Chief David Umahi, said they will contribute to human capital development and stimulate the economy for the benefit of all.
In short, women are the best beneficiaries of this project because markets are being owned by women. That medical university is one of a kind, it is exceptional.
The 2 days official visit of the Vice President may have come and gone, but its impacts will remain evergreen in the memory of Ebonyi people. In Abakaliki, Chika Okori, NTA News.
After 8 years of displacement, 680 households have been resettled in Warabe village in Gwoza local government area as part of Borno state government's ongoing resettlement of communities affected by insurgency. Governor Babagana Umara Zulum performed the resettlement ceremony in the newly rebuilt community, which was attended by stakeholders of the area led by the senator representing Southern Borno at the National Assembly, Mohammed Ali Undumi. Mohammed Goni reports.
Most ravaged communities, Warabe village was displaced in the last 8 years by the insurgents, compelling residents to flee for safety in neighboring Fulka and other areas. With gradual return of peace, the people clamored to return home to normal lives, and government constructed 340 houses for the willing returnees, but the number doubled as most displaced residents say they are tired of living as IDPs. They offered to return home to build their own, which government has given approval.
Government has now decided to provide 100,000 naira each for those that don't have houses, so that they can provide temporary accommodation for themselves, depending what government will. And I think there's no place better than that.
Senator Mohammed Ali Undumi and member representing the area at the State Assembly, Abdullahi Buba Abacha, thanked Governor Zulum for returning people of Warabe and other displaced communities. Meanwhile, Governor Zulum has inaugurated Government Day Secondary School Pulka, constructed by the Ministry of Reconstruction, Rehabilitation and Resettlement, and handed over to the Ministry of Education to educate children within the community and other surrounding villages. Governor Zulum, who assures support to the school and provide accommodation to teachers, also charged the school principal to impart basic literacy and numeracy and operate Islamic school after closing hours. Commissioner for Education Lawan Abawo Kilbe, who described the establishment of the school as timely, said the school is well furnished and that 600 students have so far been admitted, while the member representing the area at the Federal House of Representatives, Usman Ahmed Jaha, provided exercise books to the pupils. Governor Babagana Umara also inaugurated maternity and dispensary clinic provided by the member representing the area at the National Assembly, Ahmed Usman Jaha. In Maiduguri, Mahmoud Goni, NTA News.
Plateau Elders Forum has condemned the lingering attacks on communities in Miango area of Basa local government area in the state. In a statement by spokesperson Jonathan Ishaku, the forum commiserates with relatives of the bereaved and wishes the injured speedy recovery, calling on the government to take a drastic approach to tackling the crisis while working closely with the military. Meanwhile, about 101 parcels of cocaine concealed in 8 children's duvets have been intercepted by operatives of the National Drug Law Enforcement Agency, NDLEA, at the Murtala Mohammed International Airport, Lagos. The illicit substance, with an estimated gross weight of 13.2 kilograms, was brought into the country by a 52-year-old suspect from Brazil on Saturday, 9th April 2022. In a related development, a 37-year-old suspected drug trafficker was also arrested at the Akanu Ibiam International Airport, Enugu, upon arrival from Johannesburg, South Africa. He was arrested with 738 grams of skunk concealed in detergent containers. Meanwhile, more than 800 kilograms of illicit drugs have been seized in Lagos, Edo, Zamfara, Akwa Ibom and Ondo states, while 4 persons have been arrested in connection with the crimes. Governor Professor Chukwuma Soludo of Anambra State has sworn in 20 commissioners and special advisors recently confirmed by the State House of Assembly with a charge to always focus their attention on serving the public and to shun unnecessary distractions. Indem Kalu reports.
23 days after swearing in the governor, the commissioners and the special advisors, which constitute the executive arm of government, were sworn in. The governor noted that they were selected for their competence, maintaining that he will implement his manifesto as it is his contract with Indian Anambra to bring the needed disruptive changes.
I want you to take this work very seriously. Let's keep a focus on that, because in the end, that is what will decide whether you derail or whether you leave out to deliver the full content.
Some of the commissioners thanked the governor for giving them the opportunity to serve, promising to discharge their duties effectively.
We assure you, I will not going to let you down. We are here to represent you.
We are going to talk to Indian Anambra. We are going to use all the media organs available to the ministry to let Indian Anambra understand that things are not going to be the way they were.
Get a woman into the right channel. She's going to go home, talk to the children, talk to the husband, and talk to the youths.
The governor and the new cabinet members immediately held their first executive meeting. From the government house, Oka, Ndem Kalo, NTN News.
Regulating social media in Nigeria by the federal government is imperative in order to control its negative effects, says a guest speaker at the 16th Annual Ramadan Lecture organized by NTA FRCN Von in Kaduna. The lecture, the theme, Social Media Effect on Morality, was delivered by the Registrar Joint Admissions and Matriculation Board, Professor Ishaq Uluide. Suleiman Rigachukum reports.
It started as a brainchild of the Nigerian Television Authority Kaduna Network Center in 2006 as a fulfillment of its mandate of enlightening and educating the public. 16 years down the line, the NTA, FRCN and Voice of Nigeria Ramadan Lecture Series has continued to evolve as a platform for discussing national and global issues as they affect the Muslim Ummah.
If not properly regulated, social media can freeze identities in time and space.
In consonance with the negative impact of social media platforms, stakeholders including former Vice President Namadi Sambo, represented, and former Speaker House of Representatives Oladimeji Bankole stressed the need for caution among social media users.
Many have negatively exploited the user-generation nature of social media platforms to mislead the public and cause panic or even target vulnerable groups to commit cyber crimes.
From home, these things can be treated. From primary schools, secondary schools, formative years of young people, parents getting involved, then we can begin to get the proper foundation that would be very difficult for anyone to dissuade into bad immoral behavior.
We can look at it in the moral teaching of religion. To use the moral teaching of religion against the problem of social media.
Director General Nigerian Television Authority Malam Yakubu Ibn Muhammad, represented by Executive Director News Muhammad Labo, denounced the ills of social media.
Social media has become a companion to mankind globally. It has its positive effects, it has its negative effects.
Not being unmindful of the positive impact of development in information communication technology, stakeholders also suggest regulated use of social media to ameliorate negative effects of falsehood, propaganda, incitement, pornography, among other cyber crimes. Sulema Rigachkun, NTA News.
Up next is Sports Update.
The Nigeria Volleyball Federation is intensifying efforts to improve the nation's ranking in the game at the international level. President of the Federation, Musa Nimrod, while speaking to newsmen, commended the teams that participated in the Super Cup in Lagos for displaying high performance.
I'm pleased with the red. You can see the senior and the juniors. Kwara United, with about 2 to 3 years, Kwara United are playing because of the senior players. But you can see the surprises now.
Meanwhile, efforts are underway by the leadership of the Nigerian Basketball Federation to unveil a durable blueprint capable of repositioning the sport for improved vibrancy in the country. This formed part of deliberations by the NBBF board as players were assured of improved welfare ahead of international tournaments with focus on the Tigers, which qualified for FIBA Women's World Cup in Australia come September. The Federation applauds the Ministry of Youth and Sport Development for its crucial role in ensuring that basketball continues to inspire millions of Nigerians at a time when there are renewed drive in the country's sport diplomacy.